Have you ever tried to contact customer service and realized the company has built an entire obstacle course between you and the person that can actually solve your problems in 30 seconds or less? Have a think. First, we have the FAQ page, which seems to be several years out of date. The chatbot then appears with every option except the one you actually need. The phone menu follows, where every pause feels like it's personally designed to test you, and eventually the on-hold music. Can you already hear it? Which we've all heard for several centuries of our lives already. And finally, the human, who somehow needs your account number once again, even though you have typed it in 4 or 5 times already. And after all of that, the problem still isn't fixed. You've just proven that you're a very patient person, which is very nice. For them. Because the modern customer service is not really there to help you. It is there to see how badly you want help before the company has to pay for it. And it wasn't always this hard to get help. It really wasn't. There was a time when it was simple. You had a problem, you called, someone answered, and within a few minutes, the issue was solved. Or at least, the person at the other end of the line actually understood what was going on. Outrageous, I know. But there was one tiny problem. People cost money. Every call needed someone to answer it. Every complaint took time. People who do finally get through also cost money. So the company found a cheaper solution. Don't remove support, just shrink it and bury it. Now, of course, you may be thinking, surely the best way to reduce support is to make things better, make a better product, fix known issues, maybe make things simpler. But no. That's not how things work. Because making things better can be expensive, but making support harder to reach, that's cheaper. So don't remove customer service completely. That would look terrible, and optics are important. Companies do care about how they look and they're trying to be helpful. So instead, just put more things in front of it. The help page, then the chatbot, the phone menu, a queue, a script, and then somehow probably another queue. And if the customer gives up somewhere along the way, well, the problem's solved actually, and the money has been saved. For the company at least. And that's where we have ended up here, with a lovely obstacle course. And like every single good obstacle course, it has levels. So level 1 is a help page. This is where the company gently suggests that maybe your problem is not really a problem. Maybe you just haven't read the 247 articles, 3 out-of-date manuals, and the 1 support guide that was clearly written for a product they stopped selling in 2016. So you give it a try. You type in your issue. Then the help page gives you something close. It's not correct, just close enough to waste 10 minutes of your time. You click one article, then another, and somehow you're reading about password resets when the washing machine is currently leaking all over the floor right next to you. Helpful. But for the company, this is a beautiful system, because if the help page answers your question, great. And if it doesn't, well, at least it slows you down. And if the help page fails, well, welcome to level 2, the chatbot. So the chatbot has a little speech bubble with the promise of infinite knowledge, ready to solve your problem at the moment you press enter. So you type in your actual problem, it replies with, here are some articles that may help. And yes, those are the same articles you were just looking at. So you try again, this time shorter, then simpler. Then in the language of a tired cave person, refund, broken, human, please. And still, the chatbot thinks, or basically says, I think you're asking about password resets. You are not, obviously. But again, the chatbot has done its real job. It has kept you away from the person for another few minutes. Minutes you will never get back. And if you survive the chatbot, you may reach level 3. The phone menu. This is where the calm recorded message tells you, please listen carefully, as our options have recently changed. They have not. In fact, they have never changed. They were carved into stone in 2008, and that was it. So, press 1 for billing, press 2 for technical support, press 3 if your blood pressure is kind of rising. And the real trick is, none of the options actually quite match your problem. So you guess. You press 2. The system asks for your account number, your date of birth, your postcode, and somehow your account number again, just because it can. And after all that, you are transferred to another menu. And this is where we come on to level 4, the on-hold music. This is not music in the normal sense. This is music designed to make you thoughtful, mostly about everything that you should be doing at this very moment while holding for this call. Every 30 seconds though, you do actually get a music stop and you think, oh my god, finally it's happened. A human, salvation. But no. It's just a recorded message coming back to say your call is important to us. And you do have to ask the question, has anyone in the entirety of human history ever actually believed that message? This level works because you have already come so far. You have already given them your time, your details, your patience, and potentially a small part of your soul. So hanging up now feels like, you're basically throwing all of that away. And for the company, that is useful because if you hang up, the problem disappears. Not for you, obviously, but definitely for them. But let's say you survive. You wait. You hold. You endure. You find a new YouTube video to watch. And eventually, you reach a human. So, a human. Salvation. Beautiful second, there is hope. Until you realize this person may not actually be allowed to solve your problems. They're allowed to apologize. They're allowed to understand your frustration. And they definitely are allowed to say, I do apologize for the inconvenience. But can they fix it? Can they refund it? Can they make that decision? Because a lot of customer service people are actually trapped too. They basically have scripts, they have rules, they have targets, and managers. Do not forget the managers. So now, you are not just fighting the company, you are speaking to another person who is also fighting the company, just from the inside. So then we come to level 6, AI support. Let's be fair, AI support can be useful. Sometimes this is fast, sometimes it answers simple questions. That is the good version. But the bad version gives you an answer with total confidence, even though it is completely and utterly wrong. It can misunderstand the problem, it can basically make up policies, it can send you in circles, or confidently tell you that something is completely untrue, which is a kind of a strange place to be in, because now you're not arguing with a person, you are arguing with a system that sounds helpful while being completely and utterly useless. And then finally, we have the final boss, paying extra to get better support, priority support, premium support, VIP support, which all sounds lovely, until you realize what it actually means. What used to be the normal support is now the premium VIP support, because speaking to a human used to be the actual starting point. Now in some places, it's the upgrade, which is exhausting, absolutely exhausting. Because once that happens, customer service has fully changed. This is no longer there to help you, this is there to sort you. The easy problems get pushed to the help page, the simple ones go to the chatbot, the patient people go into the phone queue, the lucky ones reach a human, and the people willing to pay get a theme-parked fast pass to the front of the queue, which tells you something very important. The obstacle course was never designed only about with the idea in mind of only solving the problems. It was about deciding whose problems were basically worth solving. And this is the uncomfortable part. A lot of bad customer service looks terrible from the customer side because you feel ignored, delayed, bounced around, asked the same question by 5 different systems, possibly while developing a personal relationship with the on-hold music. And from your side, the system feels useless. But from a spreadsheet side, it can look efficient. Fewer calls, fewer refunds, fewer humans needed. If the customer is furious, well, yeah, the customer is furious. But the dashboard looks great. A complaint that gets lost in the chatbot never reaches someone who's paid to deal with it. And if you're looking at the numbers in a monthly meeting, and suddenly there are fewer people complaining, there are fewer people waiting, there are fewer people needing a human. And that can look like things are getting better, even if the customers have just given up trying. And the incentives are there as well. If support is expensive and fewer people are reaching support, this saves money. Companies have a reason to make the path harder. Not impossible, that would be too obvious. Just hard enough that some people will stop trying. And once you see it that way, bad customer service starts to look less like an accident and more like a filter. The system is not always designed to solve a problem. Sometimes it is designed to sort the problems. Cheap problems, easy problems, loud problems, premium problems. And somewhere in that system is basically you and me, trying to speak to another human, which kind of feels a little bit tragic when you look back on it. And that is why bad customer service feels so strange, because most of the time you are not asking for anything ridiculous. You're not asking for the moon. You're not asking anyone to rebuild society. You basically just want a refund, the answer, maybe a replacement, the person who can actually fix the issue you have, ideally before you accidentally fall asleep on the sofa. But the system is not built around you. It is built around what is cheaper for them, and that is the real problem. Customer service did not become awful because everyone forgot how phones work. It became awful because companies learned something very useful. If enough people give up, some problems become much, much cheaper. Not solved, cheaper. And once you understand that, all the little annoyances that start to make much more sense. They are not random. They are layers between you and the person that could actually help. So the next time you finally reach a human after fighting through the 7 levels of customer service hell, and they ask you for your account number, once again, just remember you are not losing your mind. You are inside a system, and that system is working, just not for you. And if you made it this far, I have to ask, what is the best customer service maze you have ever actually been trapped in? I'm interested to see what some of you have actually seen.